Alright, so we are back with another basically drift build, and we're going to be doing the king of drifting. The king of the JDM drifting world, the S15. Everyone knows the S15 as a drift car and just all-round track car, sliding car, basically everything. So right now, obviously the car looks pretty stock right now as it doesn't really have a paint job, so we're going to change that real quick. I'm going to change that real quick after I show you the interiors and rev the stock engine, because we sure do have a massive build available. And I got in the wrong side, because this is a Japanese version, and the Japanese version have the drive, well, technically not, yeah, basically got on the wrong side, because the Japanese version, slash just Australasia in general, they have their versions on the other side. They have their seat on the other side, which is just typical of Australasia, so yeah. Just give it a good rev. Let's give it a good rev right there. Inline 6 SR20. It's quite a nice motor, though it isn't enough power when you use it for a drift build. So we're gonna quickly put a skin on, mainly because this car was sort of themed around. I was watching a bit of Formula D over the weekend. Irwindale was on and everything, so we'll basically put Forest Wang's skin on it, because I just like, why not? Let's put Forest Wang's vinyl set up on his car, basically. It's Get Nuts Laboratory S15, basically. So yeah, just put that on. And also, unfortunately, the Battlefront beta I couldn't actually record much gameplay of it because I kept getting disconnect issues, and well, the beta's ending basically in the next few hours, basically, and I can't really play the beta. So now there's the skin with the S15 on, Forest Wang's skin. Obviously, it's created by X808 Drifter, who seems to be American based on the flag. I don't know, or British or something. But basically, that's his little tag, even though it should be should be F Wang, because that's Forest Wang's skin. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's quite nice. It's green, it's black. So yeah, we're gonna get into the car setup, because the car setup is where it's really, really key. So we're gonna do the first few things. We're gonna do a conversion, because we're gonna throw out the SR20, because the SR20 isn't exactly useful. It doesn't produce enough power. We'll just put in the inline 6 engine, 2.6 liter, which is a twin-turboed RB26 engine from a GTR R34. And yeah, it's inline 6, so we're going to throw that in right now. I just dropped my earbuds as well. So yeah, we're going to throw that into the car, make it a C. This car will be an S-Class car, so it'll be an S-Class drift car with 700 horsepower, or about 600 something kilowatts. I don't remember the exact number, because I did base this off Forest Wang's car, which in Formula D has about 700 horsepower, even though he's running a drag motor, because he actually runs a 2JZ, but the 2JZ sort of died, and so you had to go buy a drag motor overnight and put it in the car. So yeah, so bodywork is really up to you, but for this skin, I'm putting the wings, basically wings, whatever wings, I can't really say it, bumper on it, because it best matches the vinyl setup. It doesn't really clip, I think, yeah. Wing setup, because you can see there's not much clipping with the vinyls. You can see the side vinyls not really clipping, weirdly. Unfortunately, I can't actually get a decent spoiler, and if I remove the spoiler, it sort of looks weird, because Forest Wang's car actually has a lip spoiler, which unfortunately they don't have an S15. They don't have a what am I saying? They don't have a lip spoiler for an S15, so I'm going to put a giant wing on it, because, well, Forest Wang had a giant rear wing on his car in 2013, I think, or 2012, I don't remember. He had a giant wing on his S15. Actually, yeah, last year he had a giant wing, so I think. So yeah, there's the street bumper. We're going to be slapping the wings bumper on it, because it's the same thing. It doesn't really, when I put the trials bumper, it sort of looks a bit funky. A few things look funky, like the STR badging sort of disappears, so we're going to put the wings bumper on it. It stretches a little bit, even though the C West bumper is probably more suitable, but it clips on the side and does some weird things to it. And top secret bumper sort of it does a bit of, actually the top secret bumper looks alright. Can't really see it. There you go, let's zoom in. Yeah, there you go, there's a bit of the top secret bumper, which I think maybe actually suits it a little bit better with the skin. I might throw the top secret bumper on. I've been running the wings bumper for a little bit while, so yeah, I might put the top secret bumper on, because it maybe suits it a little bit more. For side skirts, we're going to put in wings, because top secret looks, actually, it's not too bad, top secret, but you can see it sort of curls downwards a little bit. With the wings, it doesn't really curl as much, which is nice. So we're going to throw that on. And the hood, we're going to throw the only available hood, the C West hood, because you can sort of see where there's a cutout. You can sort of see where there's the green markings. That's where the hood is sort of marked, which is quite nice, I guess. So you throw that on. Though it is sort of misaligned, the green markings. I don't know, misaligned on one side. It's alright on the other, I guess. It doesn't really matter. No one really notices these little details. But yeah, there's the bodywork. So tyres, we're going to put the street tyres on. We're going to put some street tyres on. I personally like street tyres. This is just how I set up cars. Some people run sports tyres, some people run race tyres. I used to run drag tyres. It's a bit weird. Everyone has their own setups. It has insane braking and stuff like that. But yeah, I just run street tyres because I just sort of follow Formula D regulations of using street tyres. And just sort of how I roll. So basically max width the tyres. And this is all up to personal preference, but I mainly did it because Forrest Wang's rims, STR rims, actually look very similar to what I put onto this car, if I can find them. There we go. There's coning rims. Sort of look very close to what Forrest Wang's rims look like in the STR rims he has. But obviously this doesn't have all the brands, so I just threw those rims on. And we did increase the rim size to 17 inches. I believe, yeah, 17 inches, 17-inch rim and 18-inch rim at the back. Just for, I don't know, for stylistic sake, I guess. There's not really else to that than stylistic sake. For transmission, good old racing clutch, racing everything, different racing differential, because that's racing gearbox. Racing driveline, lighten things up. It's also weird audio, because I'm listening audio twice. Are you going to do it? Yep. And also, there's racing differential, because that is very key when it comes to drifting. You need a racing differential to basically do drifting, so put that on. Put racing brakes, I can adjust the brake bias and things like that. Racing shocks, I can adjust the whole suspension setup, everything else. Camber, dampening, things like that. Roll bars, I need those, so I can adjust the rollover of the car, the roll geometry of the car, and how tight it is. Roll cage, because it's a race car, so might as well throw a roll cage in. Obviously, roll cage is optional, you can make it lighter if you want, but I just personally throw the roll cage in, and weight reduction brew, as you need maximum weight reduction. And here comes where there's a lot of parts with the engine, because I'm jamming 700 horsepower into the engine, and right now, as you can I didn't want to do that. God damn it. I hate it when I hit Y. I'm used to hitting Y on Forza on certain Forzas. What gives you the stats, but yeah, you can see it's 214 kilowatts right now, which is about 250 kilowatts, 250, about almost 300 horsepower. That's really not enough, to be honest. What did I do? Yep. So yeah, I put the air filter in, put the sports fuel system in, good old racing exhaust, because exhaust system always sounds nice. Racing cams, yeah, there's a lot of racing things, because I'm pushing the RB26's power up to 700 horsepower. So yeah. Racing valves, racing block, engine blocks, a machine forged engine block, obviously. No pistons. Racing turbo, because I need that quick spool up time and therefore an extra boost pressure. So yeah, it's getting close to that. And racing flywheel. I don't think I missed anything. I'm not sure. Cams. Did I get cams? I got racing cams, didn't I? Yep, I got racing cams and racing exhaust system. So there you go. There's basically all the parts available for the car I threw on the car. So yeah. Make sure that's all correct. I have a list on the side to make sure I have all the stuff. So we're going to basically go over and tune the car now. So we drop the tyre pressure to 1.6. I like to gain that grip very, very quickly. Heat up those tyres. Get that grip very quick. So I always drop the tyre pressure a little bit, so you get a little bit rubbery tyres. The gearing, I don't personally like how the Silvia S15's gearing's default is set up, so I had to play around with it, and eventually I ended up with these results of 350, 320. Yeah, this is really, yeah. I'm very big on the gears. I always play around the gears until I like how it's suited. 215, 2.15, not 1.6, 1.55, no, jeez, I keep going past by 1.15, 1.15, yeah, 0.95 and 0.80. Obviously they're very subtle gear changes towards the end, but to be honest, you never really use beyond 5th gear, beyond 4th and 3rd. So that's really where it is. Camber is 1.5 degrees for both tyres, just so you can get that angle a little bit. 0.3 and 0.5 for the toe setup. Obviously, you don't really run really high toe setups unless you're just a crazy person and wants to do tire wear a lot, but I don't care. I don't really like my tires wearing, so even though most of the time when you're in drift lobbies you're on cosmetic, but crazy toe can really affect the car and stuff like that. Do some really weird stuff. The anti-roll bars are set to 11.44 and 13.06. I went past it completely until I'm reading my notes. This time it's not on paper, it's actually on my computer for once, so it's a little bit easier to read. But also the time I'm not paying attention to the game. So 13.06 as the rear anti-roll bar, stiffen them up a little bit, because I read a little bit of an article where if you most drift cars tend to have stiffer rear anti-roll bars or non-existent front roll bars, so they can get the car to swing out. Springs I do need to stiffen them up a little bit because they're way too soft for default to 111.4 and 135.9. The rear suspension is very stiff because I like this car. It just feels much better with the stiffer suspension towards back. I did a lot of playing around, experimenting, and the stiffer suspension towards back felt very nice. And probably that's what got me that reverse entry clip right at the start of the video. So ride height, don't need to change it. Always dampening, always change it. Dampening is the key thing to drifting. You need to adjust the dampening so much. And I completely went past with one number I wanted. 4.1 for everything. Dampening, it's all personal experience of playing with what cars. And aero, obviously don't have any adjustable aero. And the brake force, this is one time where I've actually drastically changed my braking setup. And basically running 40% rear bias, so about 10% to the rear bias, and then 150 braking pressure, so I can get those tires to lock up. That's why I could pull off that reverse entry a little bit better, because I can lock up those tires and make sure my car doesn't dive forward, because I don't want the car to dive forward when you're drifting. So yeah. So that's 80, so the differential is standard 80, 60, that's really how I like running it, and yeah. That's the tune setup. So we'll throw it out on the track, I guess. I have been playing a lot around on Silverstone, so I'll be throwing around Silverstone. And probably the National Circuit is probably one of my more favourite tracks for drifting on Silverstone. So I'll be throwing it on there. Alright, so we're here at Silverstone, and we're not lined up with the grid marker for some weird reason. I don't know why. But anyway, let's say we go to do some laps. Get those wheels to spin up, heat up those tyres, get a bit of speed, and handbrake into the drift. This car is very nice when you pull on the handbrake, because you can pull some really long distance drifts really nicely when you pull on the handbrake. Though usually when you're in Formula D, they don't really like using the handbrake that much, so sort of not advised. But yeah, it helps you a lot if you're ripping on the handbrake. Obviously giant straight, so you can pick up a bit of speed, and entry reverse. Let's see if I can pull off a reverse entry first attempt. Usually it doesn't take me first attempt, so because it usually tends to end up really bad. And it worked, sort of. Don't go off track. Sort of went off track, I guess. Sort of worked. Sort of worked on reverse entry. It does require a lot of handbraking and a lot of counter steering to prevent the car from sliding forward and spinning out, basically. Because basically reverse entry is like throwing your car into a spin almost. You hear me maxing out in third gear. And thank you for recording my clip. But no thanks. Half the time I already record the clips. I dived in a little bit fast, didn't I? I didn't pull enough handbrake on it. Damn. Doesn't matter too much. Oh well. There's actually a lot of concentration because this car is not for beginners, because mainly, actually just in general, the S15 is probably not one of those beginners cars. It's more for like novice / a little bit more experienced drivers that know how to use a very agile drift car. Generally you want a very heavy car as a first drift car, sort of to learn the ropes of how to drift. Like sort of my original Mustang GT500 drift build. That's very easy. That's very nice for learning the ropes because it's very heavy. I'm gonna screw this up, aren't I? Actually, no, I didn't. I didn't screw it up too bad. I didn't reverse entry. I just got the drift initiated early. But no, you want something very heavy and very cumbersome so you can learn the ropes of drifting before you get to something more agile and better at drifting. Even though the GT500 tends to rip up a very good score, I managed to pull off a 20k point drift on Indianapolis in the first few corners. Mainly because that car just likes sliding on big open sections of tracks. I think I butchered it very much. That perfect sort of keyhole entry area. I pretty much butchered it like a fool. I had to redeem myself by pulling off an insanely long drift. Let's see if I can actually line it up with the grid this time. Yeah, it's lined up with the grid. But anyway, so there's the S15 drift build. Forest Wang's S15 basically drift build. Just use, actually you can put whatever skin, whatever rims, whatever body kit you like. Just obviously suspension geometry, power and everything plays a major part in the car. And yeah, so that's the drift build should be up. Just look f.wang as sort of Forest Wang, or you can just look up my profile, because my gamer tag is exactly the same as my YouTube channel, or you can just look up YouTube drift, I don't know, in the description. See if you can find it that way. I don't know, but I hope you guys enjoyed. There's a bit of a quick drift build, S15 drift build you can use online. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Ice Crux out.